Justin Barnes witnessed the shooting. He joins us now from Orlando. Justin, I want to thank you for joining us. This is obviously difficult for you to relate to, but tell us what happened at 2 o'clock this morning. You were outside the nightclub when you thought you heard thunder? What happened?
I was at Cayley Avenue in Orange, right next to Einstein Bagels, across the street from Pulse, Orlando. I was there at the red light for about a minute, give or take, and just out of nowhere, man, just bang, 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 bangs, and everything seemed to stop for a minute, and it was just ridiculous. It was the craziest experience I've ever been through. Like, people were screaming and yelling, and the officer that was firing the officer that was there at the club, he was firing his weapon at the guy, and he was yelling, "Get the F out of the way! Get the F out of the way! Everybody go! Everybody go!" And people were running past my car and stuff, and I accelerated forward past the 7-Eleven on the side, and I turned back around. I did a U-turn. I came back up on the left side of Pulse, and there was people running around screaming. One lady was dragging her leg, and she was bleeding, and just. All I can remember is just everybody screaming and just the guns going off and everything. And it was right there. I was right there by the stuff. I could literally smell gunpowder from where my car was sitting at.
And then what did you do?
I was making sure. I got out of my car and I parked right there. I left my doors open and I got out, and I was just making sure that people were getting away safely. And then the gunman started shooting towards our area, but he was on the patio area of Pulse, and at that point I got back in my car and I took off and I made my way home. I have a police scanner that I was listening to the stuff go on, and the whole time I'm just hearing about the cops surrounding him, and even through the radio chatter you could hear the gunshots and just people still screaming and stuff. I saw 5 people drop like balloons in front of me. I've never seen anybody die in my life. I've never wanted to. I wish I could literally unsee what I saw and hear what I heard.
Justin, were you able to actually see the shooter? You said you could see the police officer. Could you see the shooter?
I saw the muzzle blast from his firearm. I'm assuming that it was the rifle, because I know from past experience, my father's in the military, that I could differentiate the difference between the handgun that he was using and the AR-15 that he had. You could see it so vividly, the muzzle blast, and I could almost hear bullets running past my head. And it all happened in a matter of I was there for a total of 7 minutes, is what my the load jack on my car says I was there for. And in that 7 minutes, it feels like it was at least 5 years. And I didn't know until just now from hearing your report that over 50 people have been casualties from what happened. I live in Delaney Park. It's not even 2 miles away from the nightclub, and it's just really too close to home. I don't feel safe. I don't feel right anymore. I literally just feel like there's nothing you can do about anything in the world anymore. And I literally feel traumatized from what I saw.
Yeah, it's clearly, obviously, an unbelievable situation for anyone to have dealt with. It's like being in the middle of a war.
It was basically a war. That's what was happening. It was a war. My heart goes out to the people's families and everybody affected by this. I wasn't affected physically, but I'm telling you, man, I'll be affected by this mentally for the rest of my life. I've never seen anybody die in my life. And I wanted to help. I wanted to get closer, but I was really just... there was so much gunfire and so much movement around. You couldn't think straight even if you wanted to. I couldn't even think straight once I got home. I was losing everything in my pockets. I was holding my phone, wondering where it was. It was literally just the scariest environment imaginable.
Justin, can we talk a bit about the Pulse nightclub? The mayor of Orange County, Jacobs, referred to the importance of the gay community. to her community, and the fact that this may very well have been a target because the people were there out celebrating and because they were gay. Can you talk a bit about the club and its importance to the community?
I am actually a part of the homosexual community. Me and my partner that's holding the camera is actually gay. I'm fully active in our community. I've only I've only been to Pulse about 2 times, but when I've been, the 2 times I've been there, they was so peaceful. Like, you literally felt safe. And since like yesterday, like I felt like something was coming, like something bad was going to happen. And I don't know what put me there in front of that building, but something did, man. And I just feel like calling all my worst enemies and just like and apologizing and asking God for forgiveness about what I've done and asking Him to watch over everybody's families, because I live not even 2 miles away from Pulse, and Southern Nights nightclub is right here, but on the other side of me on Bumby. And we've never had problems in Orlando with the gays being targeted. Anybody, transsexuals, lesbians, or anybody, we've never had a problem with it here. I've always felt safe to be openly who I am, and now I'm scared to even say I'm anything.
Justin, now this is a situation that we now know is the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. This is an election year. This is a man, by all reports, with a high-capacity assault rifle going into a club. Do you think this will be a situation that America is going to do some soul-searching over?
I think they should, man, because I am, and it's only been 4 hours since the shooting. I can almost promise you, man, I could see other people's lives like flashing before my eyes. Like, as people were running out, I was just thanking the Lord that they were actually getting out. I never even like thought of anything like that, being a part of anything remotely close to that. And just the fact that it was targeted against the gays and somebody picked Pulse and just walked in there with a gun. As far as how the gunman got in there, like me personally, from where he was shooting at first when the gunfire let out, I honestly think that he just shot his way in there, man, from off the street. There's no way he could have possibly been in there. I honestly believe that he started his way from the street and just gunned his way inside.
Justin, we're about 9 hours from what is perhaps the most traumatic incident that anyone could see. What are your thoughts now?
My thoughts are just, to be honest with you, man, I have so many thoughts right now that I can't even pick anything. I'm literally distraught and traumatized on what I literally saw murder happen, and it makes me feel really different and weird inside. Like, I called my little sister out of everybody I could have called first and told my little sister, and we just sat there and cried. Like, my little sister has supported me through coming out of the closet and everything, and she was just shocked. I had my middle school registrar call me and make sure that I was okay. It's a lot. It's affected so many people in the state of Florida so far that I can count. I know it's affecting people now, like all over the world. It's gonna be an imprint on our lives for the rest of our lives.
Justin, we cannot tell you how appreciative we are of you sharing your story with us. Best of luck in your emotional recovery from all this, and the best to the people of Orlando and your community. Thank you so much for joining us. All of Canada thanks you.
Thank you, sir. God bless you guys.
Justin Barnes is an eyewitness to the mass shooting in Orlando.